Hey there, good man fam, and welcome new viewers to another episode of the Female Guessing Game. Now, the way this game works is that I'll review a video that has a single female in it or multiple females in it. But here's the catch. When it's a single female, I'll be asking you if she's a traditional woman, or modern female. However, when it's multiple females in the video, you won't know about which female I'm asking you until the end of the video. So, you have to stay to the end of the video to see about which female I'm asking you is a traditional woman, or modern female. Ready? Let's get it.
You mentioned the Barbie movie. What are some of the other things?
Other what?
What are some of the
You
struggles
said
that women have?
If I watched the Barbie movie, I would be enlightened to the plight of women.
Okay. Well, first of all, like the beauty standard.
Okay.
And kind of just like.
First of all, we're already, 15, 20 seconds in? And the fact that what it is about which she's talking is the Barbie movie? The Barbie movie. Bruh. This is about to be a whole headache. I don't even drink, and I need to go get something to drink. This is crazy. Already.
Traditional values that men like, and like you were just saying, like you should be a virgin if that's your type or whatever. That's your type.
Low body count.
Whatever you said. Okay. Like these standards, like it's just not like healthy, and like I don't know. I just
what's not healthy?
Like putting women to these standards.
How many times did she just say like? I want you all to go back and tell me how many times she said like. This is crazy. Isn't it funny that females will talk about males not communicating, which is of course bullcrap because males communicate very easily and very succinctly. Yet here a female is saying like 14 times or something crazy that she said it. Y'all go back and count it and put in the comment section how many times she said like and hasn't even said anything except beauty standards. What? Yeah, this is going to be a whole headache right here.
I just
So men are not allowed to have preferences, standards, and boundaries.
That's not what I'm saying, but it's just interesting that a large majority of men have these standards.
So would you hold your kids to standards at all? Like, does that matter to you, your children having morals?
What are
standards?
Yeah.
So then why would a man not be allowed to want a woman to have morals and standards? And like, why is that so wrong?
What are the standards that men have that you object to? The body count thing. Men should not be able to. If a woman slept with 300 people, men should just tolerate that.
Okay, that's unrealistic. But
did you just say that it's unrealistic that males should be okay with females having 300 bodies? Okay, let me split this up to make sure that I get this right. Is she asking for it to be unrealistic for a male to accept a female with 300 bodies, or that it's unrealistic that a female would have 300 bodies? Because if it's the latter, then she must live on planet Zumaka or something. I don't know, because she definitely doesn't live on Earth, at least not anytime within the past 10 years, because 300 bodies used to be unrealistic. Now they're giving each other high fives for 300 bodies. I just saw a video where a female had 1,100 bodies, and she said to this guy named Andrew who debates, he's the guy they call the blood sport debater, that it's been 10 years. And I'm thinking, wait, that's 110 guys a year. Right? That's 110 guys a year. If you've done 1,100 guys, that's about 2 guys or so a week, every like 3-4 days. You're saying that 300 bodies in this day and age where you have chicks who have 1,100 who aren't corn stars, is something that's unrealistic, again, she could be talking about the former, which was males accepting that. But I would actually think that she's saying a female actually having that many bodies would be unrealistic. Y'all tell me which one y'all think it is about what she's talking in the comment section.
I don't need no man.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Like, I'm.
Okay. But
It's just interesting that we have to like live up to these standards that are like, and for what is basically what I'm thinking. Like, it's a lot of pressure on women. That's not the only thing. That's like actually.
But wouldn't you say that women are pickier and more selective than men are? So there's actually a greater pressure on men when it comes to standards?
I don't know if women are more picky.
Women are just naturally more selective than men.
Did she just say that she doesn't know if females are more picky? Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on. Come on. You're being disingenuous, ma'am. You're being disingenuous. You don't think that females are more picky than males when it comes to relationships? Yo, a female will say, I don't want to date you. Forget this. Think about this show. Y'all ever heard of this show called like the Pop the Balloon Show? In the Pop the Balloon Show, they will pop a balloon for a guy who walks out and then tell him, I didn't like your fit. I didn't like your shoes. I just didn't like the way you stood. Do you think a female comes out and she's standing there and males say, I don't like the way you stood, so I'm just going to pop my balloon? Do you think a male would do that for a female who was decent looking? She didn't even have to be bad. She could just be decent looking. You think a male would do that? Yes, somehow you don't know if females are more picky? Get the entire freak out of here.
Because of, it's just biological.
I have a question. Do you think it would be better for little girls across America to not be held to any standards growing up? Like no standards for like, you know, how they carry themselves, how they act in public, who they, you know, so like, do you think that would be better for society if little girls then going into women had no standards to be held to?
I mean, not necessarily. It depends on the standards, but yeah, I guess.
You're talking about the right mirror. Are you talking about like unrealistic like a lot of unrealistic standards on women?
Yeah, like the body count thing is like, if I could say, like the body count thing, that's not really like the main one. It's like the way you look, like
you gotta be having, a perfect 10.
You have to like slim waist, big boobs, big butt, all these like things that.
Ma'am, you think it's males putting that on you? You think it's males putting on you that they want you to have a slim waist and a big behind? We're not talking about a preference. We're talking about that males will not want you if you don't have that. You think males think like that? No, boo-boo. No. It's females who are like, if a male doesn't have all of these things the way he looks, then I don't want him. Man, a male will come in, he'll be a decent looking guy, he'll be dressed nice and whole night. She'll say, nah, I just don't like the vibe. Vibe? What the freak is a vibe? You talking about the old school magazine vibe? Because that's the only vibe about which I think when you say vibe, because the vibe about which you seem to be talking doesn't even seem to be something that males can even calculate to be able to give to a female, because it depends on whatever you feel at the time. You could have just watched a movie where males did something crazy in the movie, and then you go to this show, and then the first male to come out, in your mind, you're like, he looks like the guy who was on the show. Pop. Come on now. This is crazy. We don't put those standards on you all. You all put those standards on yourselves.
I don't need no man.
Women feel that they have to be like in order for a man to like them, and like living under the male gaze and things like that. Mm-hmm. That's what.
Sorry, it's just the buzzwords, the male gaze. Okay. See, any sort like it's so interesting to me that basically like male sexuality is pathologized. Like if men are gay, like looking in your direction, you basically just want to pathologize and almost Actually, in the UK, in the United Kingdom, they attempted to criminalize staring.
Okay.
Why does she keep saying that's not what I'm saying? That's the third time she said that's not what I'm saying. I'm going to tell you, the reason that I believe she keeps saying that is because she is not able to articulate herself. You notice she just keeps saying like. It took her, I don't know how long to even get just the slightest bit of something that could even be conceived as a point or perceived as a point across. And I believe it's because she got her talking points from the sisterhood. Heck, she's just talking about the Barbie movie. So you know she got her talking points from the sisterhood. So she doesn't even understand what it is that she's saying. It's buzzwords, male gaze. I bet you if you ask her what the male gaze is, she's going to take 50 minutes to tell you what the freak the male gaze is. And once she tells you what it is, it's probably going to be something stupid or something normal. You're like, what? It's not the male gaze. It's just the regular thing of humans. Because she never actually had to think through her actual opinions because they're not actually her opinions.
I'm not saying the male
This
gaze
is the
like that.
common
I'm
world
saying
that what is the male gaze?
Okay,
a guy looking at
I'll
you?
Explain. You know, like no, that's not what it is. There's the female gaze, which is like women typically like men who are like really strong or like they live in they like these certain things about men. That's like living under the female gaze. If like you are doing a certain thing to yourself in order to please a woman. So for women, it's like act like doing things that you like to yourself so that you can please a man.
Can I ask you something?
You mean just simple male to female intersexual dynamics? Didn't I say it was probably going to be something just normal? She's saying that the gaze, oh my goodness. Because I'm guessing that the male part of it would be the same thing as the female, just the opposite. She said a female making herself look a certain way so that males like her. Dude, what the freak do you think you're supposed to do when it comes to individual males and females wanting to be with the opposite sex? What the freak do you think they do? They, you know what? Males are used to this. Males are used to saying, if I want a female, I have to do a particular thing because that female wants something from me. So I need to do the things I need to do to be able to get her, just like a job. If this job has certain criteria for me to get this job, I need to meet that criteria. Males understand that simpleness, right? Females seem like they're individuals who just want to have it just to have it. They don't seem to think that they have to do something to get the other thing, or if they do it, it's somehow bad. Hence why they start putting these labels on it. They give these names, this terminology, this shaming language, because in their mind, they don't want to have any standards. So when you put a standard on them of, well, if you want a male, you have to do A, B, and C. They say, oh, so what you're saying is that I have to somehow placate the male gaze. You mean you have to be attractive to the other sex in order to get them? No, the male gaze. And then they explain exactly what you just said, being attractive to the other sex. Oh my goodness, dude. Please don't tell me that she's going to be the majority of this, because this is about to be a whole headache.
I don't need no man.
I think women actually amplify the pressure that they put on themselves, and I say that because you just talked about
I think that's what the Barbie movie is about.
trying to live up to a standard. You notice this. You notice other women with big boobs. You notice the women in magazines. You notice the women on social media and everything like that. You're comparing yourselves to those women. You still get approached by men, right? Men still find you attractive. So if men still find you attractive, if men still come your direction, then what is it what makes you insecure? You're doing it to yourself.
Facts. Q is spitting. How they say, that boy spitting. He was up here talking the talk right there. They're doing it to themselves. I said earlier, males don't hold you to that standard. Males may want something, but they'll take something else. Males may want an 8. If males had the opportunity, they'll say, hey, if I can get a 10, in looks and a 10 in positive attitude, oh, I'll take that all day. But if I have to take a 6 who has a 9 positive attitude, they'll take that all day too. Males have a multitude of the combination of attitude and looks levels that they'll take. And they have the ones that they won't. If you're a 10 attitude as far as positive and a 10 looks, that's awesome. But if you're a 10 looks but a 3 attitude, a male may engage in intimacy with you. He taking you seriously? More than likely, he's not going to do that because he sees the whole headache that you are. He'd rather take someone who's a 7, 3 levels lower in looks, but go up 3 or 4 levels in attitude. He'll take a 7 and a 7 more than he'd take a 10 and a 3. So again, you all do this stuff to yourselves. It's not males.
Yeah, you mentioned there's this pressure on women to have thin waist, big boobs, big
Pressure on themselves.
Didn't you say earlier you're currently dating like 3 or 4 men? Or
I'm
you
not
have
dating.
Okay, you have a roster of 3 or 4 men? Or was that your friend? I don't know.
No, that was me. Yeah.
Are you struggling to get men?
Not particularly.
Do you think you need to modify anything about you to attract men?
I mean, you said you're a 10,
there have been
right?
times, yes, but there have been times where.
Whoa. Did he just say that she said she was a 10? Ma'am, you look like the female that usually comes on here, that like ridiculous feminist that they call bangs. You look like her sister, her twin sister. Yo, you're just young. On a scale of 1 to 10, ma'am, you're like a 4. You're not even like average looking. You're like a 4. And again, I'm not being mean. I'm trying to be objective. Why in the world does she think she's a 10? Because she has a slim looking body? No, males will take a skinny body with a pretty face. Males will take a thicker body with a pretty face. Why? Because males like pretty females. Her face isn't cute at all. Keep looking through this video and look at her face. Whenever she talks, look at her face, look at her features, her eyes, the distance from her nose, the shape of her nose, her lips. Look at everything. And you tell me if you think she's a 10.
I don't need no man.
I felt like, and still.
There you go.
Right
You
now,
just said it.
What?
You just said it.
Yes,
There have been
right
times where I felt like.
Felt like.
I had to act a certain way, look a certain way in order for a man to like me.
But no one told you to act.
No
that
one
way.
told me to, but that's how it is in our society.
But okay, so and you mentioned like unrealistic body standards, etc. Who do you think is more picky when it comes to dating, men or women?
Bruh. She better not. She better not. You already know. You all already know about what I'm talking when I say she better not. He just asked her, who does she think is pickier when it comes to dating, males or females? This is what he asked her. He said men or women. No, males or females. You got to be specific. We're talking about sex, males or females. Which one's pickier? What do you all think she's going to say? Because she might have what's objectively the correct answer. But she's a female. Do you think that she's going to have the correct answer here? Or is she going to say what the sisterhood wants her to say? Y'all tell me in the comment section what you think. Let's see.
Well, it's personal. I mean, I went to an all-girls school for, like I said, for 7 years. So it's kind of like,
yeah,
I don't really know. Like, I honestly don't know because of that.
Well, who do you think? If you had to ballpark it, you think men are more selective or women are more selective?
Well, I guess it's difficult to say because I think women get approached by men more, so they can reject men more, or like.
So if they reject men more, don't you think there would be more criteria for them men have to meet? Do you think there's more criteria men have to meet to attract women, or vice versa?
Q, are you asking her to do critical thinking? No, I'm listen. It's Kevin Hart say, look here. Look here. You're asking a female who said something to the point of maybe 14 likes in 15 to 20 seconds to do critical thinking? Bruh, do you think you're at a college lecture or something like that? Do you think you're at a TED Talk? You're asking her to do critical thinking. No, I'm seriously asking, do you all think that him asking that question, she's going to give him a good faith answer? Or is right now in her mind, she's thinking, do I want to make the sisterhood upset? Or do I want to answer correctly? Which one do you all think she's thinking? You tell me in the comments section.
I don't need no man.
I guess women are, I don't know, like
it's impossible for her to acknowledge that men are somehow at a deficit in one realm of human endeavor.
Right.
Because
no, I recognize that men struggle for reasons.
Well, let's keep it to the body thing, right? So okay. You said that when it comes to appearance, that there's this like expectation that women have to live up to of like a certain body type, and because of the Barbie movie, I didn't see the Barbie movie, but I guess it touched on it in the movie that women have it harder when it comes to body type.
Just living in society.
Just living in society. Yeah. Do you think that same pressure exists for men?
Yeah.
Did she just say what I thought she just said? Did she just say females have it harder living in society? I know I didn't just hear that. Nope. I didn't just hear that. Ain't no way. What does that guy say? I can't remember what his name is, but he's from like one of those two groups, RDC World and this other one. Can't think of the name. He says, ain't no way, boy. Ain't no way. Ain't no way, boy. Ain't no way. He says that. Nowhere in the world that she just said, well, I think she just said. She just said females have it harder just living in society. Has she never heard of, what was that lady's name? Nora Roberts? You know, the female who offed herself because she lived as a man for, I think, a year. And she realized, she lived as a male for a year. She realized, oh my goodness, I had no idea it was like this. One of the things she was saying was that she said nobody cared about her problems and that she didn't even get physical touch. She was talking about she didn't get hugs. She didn't get anything. And she didn't realize how much she got her needs met when it came to people caring about what she thought, how she felt, giving her empathy, the hugs, touching her, physical affection. She didn't realize how much she was getting until she stopped getting it when she became a male for a year. Her, I think it was Nora Roberts, she'll tell this female, what, you have it harder in society? You're out your mind. Because guess what happened after Nora Roberts did that? Psychologically, she was so broken to where I think within 3 years of that, she ended up offing herself. But somehow in this female's mind, females have it harder living in society. Man, oh man, when you're this privileged, what is the saying that the guy from FNF says? Privilege is invisible to those who have it. They can't see it. I said something like that years ago, but that's a better way to phrase it. Privilege is invisible to those who have it. She can't even see her own privilege. It's crazy.
Now, here's my I don't think it's a hot take, but here's my position. I would actually argue that depictions of aspirational bodies for men are far harder to attain than what you see of women. So the aspirational body type for a man is far harder than the aspirational body for a woman.
For the average person, probably. Yeah.
Well,
like it depends on the person and their body type.
Well, the other thing I would add to, let me ask do you care about a man's height? Would you want to? Do you care about height?
Maybe not as much as other women I've heard.
What's your ideal height for a guy? You're 5'1", right?
Yeah.
Ideal height for a guy?
Like, I guess like 5'7".
Okay. Would you want to date a guy who's like 5'2"?
Probably not.
Probably not.
It depends on who
Okay.
they are. If they're a really good guy, we'll have to see.
Sure. Do you like really skinny guys? Like who have no muscle?
Really...
Do you like a muscular guy? A little,
yeah.
not like super like bodybuilder,
No,
gigantic
yeah, I
steroids.
like muscles.
You like some muscles.
But
Okay.
it's not going to be like a deal breaker.
Do you like fat guys?
What?
Like
What?
Don't worry. I'm.
Uh-oh. Did you see what just happened? With the female that was sitting to her right, our left. See what happened? She chimed in like, wait, what? Uh-oh, that means it's about to spread. It's about to spread through the panel. Let's see what happens, because it seems like this is about to get good now that this female has set the table for, I don't even know. This is crazy. She set a crazy standard of stuff about which she's talking and barely even being able to get some of what it is about which she's talking out. Brian and Q have to try to translate her nothingness, which is crazy. Let's see if these other females chime in on this, because I really want to know if they're in any form or facet going to agree with the nothingness that she said that Brian and Q had to translate.
I don't need no man.
I'm getting somewhere. Go ahead.
Like,
Fat, obese.
It's like the scissor
What is
saw.
that?
Big boys are better.
Just go ahead.
I guess it's not really my type. I've never been into a guy that
Sure.
is like that.
Okay.
But
Do you have any like when it comes to race or skin color? Do you have any preferences there?
not.
Okay.
particularly.
So what I would argue, let me ask: if a guy is lacking in the bulge, is that deal breaker?
No.
Don't care. Okay, that's fine. Would you prefer a guy like if a guy was balding? Would that kind of be a turn off or unattractive?
Well, I'm 18, so like.
Some guys.
What does you being 18 have to do with whether or not you're attracted to him balding? What? That seems like it was just a way for her to try to get around the actual question. Maybe that's, I don't know. That was kind of weird. That was kind of like, I don't even know what in the world about which it was that she was talking. So if she thinks that in some form or facet that her being 18 is going to be a determining factor of whether or not she's attracted to guys with bald heads or not, maybe, because females who get older, they allow certain things to happen and accept certain things that they wouldn't accept when they were younger. So I guess possibly I give it some possibility. Probability, I don't know. Let's see.
Start balding early.
I don't know. I mean, it's not like.
Okay,
I
well,
would want
let's
that.
say think forward to 25. Some of the men in your age cohort are going to start losing their hair. Like,
I
would you
wouldn't
prefer
want
a guy?
them to be balding, but like if they were, if I really loved them, like.
But would you, generally speaking, like, do you find men who are not balding more physically attractive?
Yeah, I guess.
Most women do. So, I mean, kind of going on this whole thing of, well, the body expectations of women are like really intense and there's so much to work up to. I would actually argue that for men, it's way harder because of the things that both men and women we judge each other for. There are far more things that that are outside of men's control that women judge men for. So height, penis size, physical size, if they're losing their hair, that's a big thing for a lot of women. A lot of women don't like that.
I'm not saying men are
Penis size.
not subject to like societal standards. I'm just saying that women have
It worse.
like,
Disavow.
yeah, a bit.
Not
like,
really.
no, not a bit.
Did she just say females have it worse and then just said not a bit? She just said not a bit, which seems like it's alluding to her being about to say a lot. If she's about to say a lot, yo, I'm gonna go, dude. You bet not, ma'am. You better not be about to say what I think you about to say. Let's see.
I don't need no man.
Like, they do have it worse. That's my opinion. And I think that, like, the whole, like, thing with bodies and, like, the beauty standard, like, that's not even, like, half of what's wrong with society.
Sure, there's more. But just speaking specifically on the body thing.
That's, like, the one, like, topic that men kind of, like, are...
No, I feel like I agree with Q that it's women who kind of did that to themselves because if you look at it really, when that body started to become trending, it was when the Kardashians did it. That's when everybody wanted the small waist, the big boobs, the big. So it's like women, we did that to ourselves.
You know what's crazy about what she just said? There's some truth to that. But here's what's the crazy part. Black females have been the standard for curvy bodies, just built, boom, bam, boom, brick house bodies, right? Then Latinas, then any and everybody else. But it's black females sitting at the top for that. Then, you know, like I said, Latinas, but I think Latinas have overtaken black females because now black females are mostly overweight and obese, unfortunately, at least in the West. But for some reason, when the black females had all of that, it wasn't, hey, let me go grab that. But when Kim Kardashian did it, a white female who's Armenian, I believe, all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, we should do what she does. We should get a body like hers. No, her body's not even hers. Her body's a black female's body. So, wow. They waited till Kim Kardashian did that, and all of a sudden they want those type of bodies. So they're going and getting all this work done to breast implants, BBLs, all this crazy stuff. Wow.
Making that popular by praising those women, by giving them all of our attention and money, and then now guess what? It's not a trend anymore, and all of them are getting their BBLs removed. And now we're admiring being skinny again. It's like we create these standards for ourselves.
But it's not really women. Actually about. Well, it's not really like women specifically who are like doing that. I think men also are the ones who are praising it, and it's not just women.
Yeah, you cannot argue that a woman getting surgery on her own body is her only decision. That's not a man's decision. That is literally her only.
Like in our society,
you
men
can't blame
kind
that
of
on anybody else.
Like in some ways, men created some of the standards that are for women.
Well,
see what she's doing? Do you see what she's doing? She's doing that thing about which I told you all. She's trying to move the field of battle into a field of battle in which she thinks she can win. This is why she's now starting to say, well, some males created some. Before it was males created the standard. She's talking about beauty. She said males created the standard. Now is, well, males created some of that, some of it, because now that a female has told her, no, we did A, B, and C based on Kim Kardashian. She comes back and said, no, but males. And then she said, wait a minute. No, we do this to our body. Remember the whole my body, my choice? That's not just about reproductive rights. That's also about what you do to your body in any way externally. So when you decide that you're going to do something to make your body look a certain way externally, that's male's fault too. So that female at the top said, and she's actually pretty. She's at the top. She says, no. We did this. Females did this, not males. Males didn't make us do this to ourselves. Now this female who's at the bottom right, the one that was in the blue, she says, well, I mean, I can't really say males now because she just destroyed my whole argument. So now I have to do what? What did I tell you all? They either have to be the ones right, or males have to be wrong, or both have to be wrong or right. It has to be neutral, or males are wrong. It has to be neutral, or females are right. So when she thought males were wrong and females were right, she was just talking and really not saying really anything because she couldn't even articulate herself. But once she realized, oh no, I'm wrong, and it's a female telling me I'm wrong, so I can't even blow it off as something misogynist or whatever, she said, I have to not take a loss. The sisterhood doesn't want me to take a loss. So I got to make it even. How do I make it even? Okay, I'll hit them with the hope and subjectivity thing. In this case, subjectivity. Well, I mean, some, we did some standards, they did some standards. She hits them with the neutral thing. That's why she went from it was male's fault to now is, well, they created some of it. Ain't that funny? Patrice O'Neal. Ain't that funny? Ain't that funny?
I don't need no man.
In
Look,
society,
It's not just women.
sorry
who
to
created it.
disappoint you.
it's
You-
not
dude,
just women who
well,
create it at all.
Yes, but men like okay. Men are attracted to women with big breasts. Like men are attracted to women with big. However, like I would say most men, that's not like. There are some men who just have a big titty fetish, whatever. Like I think that's really not gonna be. First off, you don't want to be with a guy that doesn't like you the way you are. Obviously, you should take good care of yourself. You should be in good shape. You should have good hygiene, etc. But like, I think you've spoken on this, Q, and we have Nick over here. Like, you have 3 men sitting in front of you. Earlier I said I don't like women with plastic surgery. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I even said it's not even like I really want a girl with with big boobs. I said I would prefer a girl with small boobs. I prefer.
And that's the thing. He's not alone. Most men, most males, want a female who does not have any of that. So if most males don't want those things that females are doing to themselves to get enhanced, then why in the world are you trying to blame it on us for you all getting it done? You all are getting it done for males because you're saying that's what males are putting the pressure on you all to do. Yet males are saying, we don't care if you don't have that. In fact, we prefer you not having it. How does that make any sense? It only makes sense because they think that's what males want because they keep telling each other that's what males want. They're not actually speaking with males. They're speaking with each other and telling each other males want A, B, and C. That's the problem. How about speaking with males first and then going to do the thing instead of going to do the thing after you had a conversation with no males?
Girl with a little belly than lipo belly. I prefer a girl with small upper lip than lip fillers. I prefer a girl with like a smaller ass than with a BBL. And Q, I don't know about you, but
I'm saying
you're not a fan of plastic surgery.
I'm not
Nick?
a fan of any alterations.
So you got 3 guys here that aren't really into plastic surgery.
And the majority of men could think like that too, but it's just as women, we have praised these women, the famous ones that do it so much. We think, oh, that's what I have to do. I have to look like them. I need to be like them. I need to get the money like them. All the men will like me like they like them. But it's like most men, like you said, don't actually care about that. They don't actually like that. But we see the famous women doing that, and it's what we admire, and we want to be like them.
Refined_Randy.
She just said exactly what I just said. She just said exactly what I just said. They see each other. They see other females, and then they look at the males paying them attention, and then they say, that's what males want. No, boo-boo. That's the thing with which males play. There's a difference in the things with which males would like to play and the thing males would like to wife. It's 2 different things. One is recreational use only. That's playtime. The other one is wifing. But then guess what females will say? Well, Kanye West not only wiped her, but he gave her 4 kids. Yeah, because he was a freaking idiot. No offense to Kanye, because Kanye's great musically, but relationship-wise, what he did was one of the dumbest things you could have ever done. I think, what is his name? Glover? Forget what's his name. Danny Glover or something Glover. The one who does, not Danny Glover, the older actor, but the guy who did This Is America, Donald Glover. Him. He says something about not dating females who are in the industry, in essence, and who are actresses, that whole 9, career women, which is which are the individuals about whom he was speaking. And yeah, you don't want to do that because they don't have the right type of mindset. They get too much attention. You can never satisfy them. You can never satisfy them. This is why those females do all these different things, because they need the attention. They need to try to hold on to the attention. Then you have females like this on this panel who say, oh no, it's the males who did that to us. No, it was all the attention that was being given to that celebrity who you admire. And then you look at that celebrity and say, oh, for me to get the attention she gets, I have to do the things that she does. And then you act like that's what gets her the attention from males, the things that she does to her body. No. Males like females, any size. They could be big, small, little, tiny, petite, obese. There are males who will get with chicks as far as sex-wise, any size. So you'll get attention. But if you ask males what they want a female who is in shape. Period. Whether she's in shape like old school Serena Williams in shape, or if she's in shape like Halle Berry in shape, more along the slender side. Males just want that. So again, y'all should try speaking with males about this stuff instead of just looking at other females and telling yourself what you think males want.
I don't need no man.
Donated $99. Are men or women lacking more nowadays? In terms of husband/father and wife/mother? And explain your take. Bring back Chase, Mary, and Josiane on the same panel. Hashtag Christ is King.
Amen.
Yo, Randy, thank you very much, man. Appreciate it. Are men or women lacking more nowadays? I mean, I think both men and women are. I'm not trying to play a blame game here where it's like just like. I think both men are lacking, and I think women are lacking. I think we both got to level up. Mm-hmm. Did you want to finish your point really quick, or did you kind of have it?
I don't remember.
That's
yeah.
fine.
I finished.
Can I add something?
Really quick.
I do think that it is a lot harder for men because us women put the expectation on things that men cannot physically change besides maybe like working out. Okay, but like in terms of like penis size and like height, that's something us women put the pressure on men for. But on the other hand, us women.
Facts. You better talk, Ma. You better talk. Let them know. They put this pressure on males for things males can't even control. They'll talk about males' height and males' manhood size. You're like, well, the average manhood size, I think, is like 5.6 inches. And females are like, no, I need at least an 8. Like, what? You know how many males have an 8 size? There are some males, of course, who have that. But the average, that you're going to say going into dating, oh, I want that. Well, good luck, man, finding that along with all of the other things on your checklist. You're going to have a heck of a time trying to get even a third of it. Well, go ahead. Do your thing. Just make sure you don't blink and 20 years gone by and you don't have anybody.
We're the ones who willingly choose to scroll on social media and compare ourselves to other girls. Like the guy said, guys will praise anything.
Yes.
Well, and that's kind of what I was saying earlier, is that when it comes to like judging other people just on a purely physical basis in terms of what we find attractive physically in the opposite sex, again, my position would be women have far more criteria when it comes to physical attractiveness for men that are completely outside of men's control. Height, penis size, balding, sexual stamina, sexual function, a lot of these things are totally outside of men's control. Whereas like what the big thing I'd say with women is weight, and that's within your control. Men don't really care about your height. Women don't really bald, so that's not a factor. So when it comes to hair, that's totally not a factor with women. This is going to be kind of vulgar. Loose is not nearly as prevalent as men with like average or below average penis size. That's it.
I just said that, not about the loose Arby's. Not about the loose roast beef, though. I didn't say anything about that. But yeah, that's part of the thing. And also height. height is a huge thing, but what the average male height is like 5'9" or so, and a female would say, "Well, yeah, he can't be shorter than 5'10." I mean, 5'10" is even a little bit short. And you're thinking 5'10" is a little bit short when 5'9" is the average. So you're saying the average male is short? No, the average male is not short because average is not short. Literally, by definition, average is not short. So a guy who's an inch taller than average is somehow short. This is how they think. It's freaking crazy, man. It's crazy.
I don't need no man.
Plus Kegels, you can fix that. Just saying. Okay, I didn't mean to take it there, but
To answer the super chat, I think that the sexual revolution is screwing all of us over, or has screwed us all over.
also on the physical front, I would argue that physical disability is a far bigger disadvantage for men than it is for women.
Isn't it sad we're only talking about physical appearance though, and not who people actually are?
Shut the freak up. Shut the entire freak up. Why is it that females always want to try to shift things to the way that they think? Because I bet money that the reason that she's saying this is because she's somehow trying to virtue signal about females caring about a person's personality, and what's on the inside is what matters. I bet you that that's what it is about when she's talking. Because this is what they try to do. They try to virtue signal to say that they are somehow morally superior in some type of way, because for some reason it's always looked at when it comes to males as males' preferences being something that's somehow immoral. Even if they don't say it directly, they always seem to allude to that. And that drives me crazy, because male preferences are biological, just like female preferences are biological. Why is it that we adhere to your biological standards and we understand that we say, okay, females like a guy who's this tall, this, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and males start trying to adjust to that. But if males say, well, we like females who are A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all of a sudden it's, well, why do you care so much about looks? Shouldn't we be talking about who they are inside? And it's like males care about who you are inside as well. It's not just about looks, but males primarily, when they initially meet you, look at the looks first, because they want to be attracted to you to see if they even like what's inside of you. Females can deal with you and not even actually be physically attracted to you. And then when you show them that you got game, money, or fame, then all of a sudden your looks look better. Think about the old school singer Seal. Seal is not an attractive man, but he was married to Heidi Klum and he had millions upon millions of females wanting to sleep with him. Why? Because he didn't have to have the looks thing, because he had game, money, and fame.
Like,
I mean, physical attraction
Why
is
would
huge.
that be sad?
She brought it up. She brought
frame
it
it as
I
more.
agree with her.
Here, let me just finish my point here. Physical disability, far bigger disadvantage for men. So, first, sexual function for men with spinal cord injuries, whereas a woman, you can still, okay, I guess. I would argue a woman in a wheelchair could get laid far easier than a man in a wheelchair. I'd say she could get laid more easily than an able-bodied dude.
Why? Because she can't run away?
Also, males who are...
I mean, you all are laughing, but is he lying? Is he lying? Is he not telling the truth? Come on. She could. Because, again, her body doesn't have to look a certain way in comparison to a man. A female in a wheelchair still has, more than likely, breasts, right? She still has a mouth. She more than likely still has her hands. So she has 3 of 5 things that males use in order for them to get off. So the get off part of males, he can still do. That's if she doesn't even have the down there area, the roast beef area. If she doesn't have that, she still has 3 of the 5, right? She actually has 4 of the 5. She has to have, well, I don't know, because he could use that bag, whatever, but she at least has 3 of the 5. But if she has all 5 of 5, there are males who don't care if she doesn't have legs. Don't care. But do you think a male in a wheelchair, you think his sexual market value stays the same compared to if he could walk? Come on, man. Now, a female in a wheelchair, hers doesn't either. But do you think her drop off, sexual market value wise, is the same as his? Y'all tell me in the comment section if both a male and a female were at 100% sexual market value, peak male, peak female, if both of them went into a wheelchair and possibly say lost their legs or something, you tell me what percentage drop from 100% that male would go as far as his attractiveness to females compared to the females drop off and her attractiveness to male. Y'all tell me what percentage drop off each one of those would be.
I don't need no man.
Not neurotypical are going to struggle far more than women when it comes to dating too. So there's a whole bunch of things. Is there anything else from the Barbie movie though that you wanted to?
Okay, Barbie movie was just an example. I think everyone should watch the clip of the woman. I don't know what part it was in, but she's explaining like the struggles that women go through.
I think the female's name about whom she's speaking is American Ferrera. I think that's her name. Where she was talking about the things, like she said, through which females go. And I'm sitting here thinking about if any of these females would be able to give you a list of the things through which males go. Think about it. If you were to ask them, what are the male struggles in life? Do you think any of these females would be able to give you a list of them? I think maybe 1 or 2 might. Maybe 1 or 2 might. If you're lucky, maybe 3. I know one of them probably would. But maybe 2, you can roll the dice on 3, would be able to actually tell you. Because they don't have to think about what males want, don't want, the struggles males have or don't have. That is not something that has to be in their purview at all. Why? Because they can still get every single thing that they want without giving a rat's tail about what males want or don't want. It doesn't matter. Males are going to want to get with them in some form or facet, whether it's recreationally or wifey. They're going to want to get with them in some type of form or facet, regardless, their entire life dang near. Because a man will engage in intimacy with an 80-year-old female. Why? Because he just wants to get off. So for her to sit up here talking about the difficulties of their life and what it was America Ferrera was saying, but probably more than likely, and I would bet a ton of money on it, not be able to give you a list of things through which males go. I bet you she couldn't even give you 5 freaking things. Bet money she couldn't give you 5 things through which males went. I bet money that she couldn't. Because if she's sitting up here referencing the Barbie movie, then you already know her brain is absolutely fried.
Now, remember, this is the female guessing game. So out of all of these females you've seen, about which one do you think I'm about to ask you all? Drum roll, please. So, tell me, is she a traditional woman, modern woman, or modern female? Put it in the comment section and tell me why you think so. And then grab yourself some merch on the way out in order to support the channel. And, of course, don't forget to click like and subscribe. Thanks, good man fam.